ready, Hope? You
Thank you for joining the Minnesota Cold Talk podcast. Listen, this show is dedicated to all the people that's dealing with things and they want to be loved. You know what I mean? They want to still have that certain feeling. All right, okay, listen. So I'm gonna let Hope do her thing. This is a Hope one. Well, it's Riri topic, but she passed it to Hope, trying to act like she ain't knows
No,
what was
no,
going
no.
on
This is
about it.
Hope topic. This is all Hope. It's
Okay,
all Hope. It's all on Hope.
you just supporting her, huh?
Yeah, I support everybody.
Okay, okay. Well,
So,
let's do it.
I support everybody.
it is kind of my
Girl, if you don't go somewhere and get some good reception.
Look at her face. Look at her face.
Ooh, screenshot it. Ooh, where my phone at? Where my phone? Screenshot, screenshot.
Yo,
actually moved because my mom got a loud.
girl, we
And
can't
if
hear
you
nothing you
guys can
said.
Damn,
tell, I am
I
off the
couldn't get
market.
her. I couldn't get her.
All right, now look, check this out. Hope you gonna have to, everything that just started.
Got to my phone too
You gotta
slow.
start from the beginning and make sure you get your Wi-Fi on.
Okay.
And you good right now?
Huh?
We can hear
Man,
you
you
good
need
right
to go
now.
outside, Hope. You
I'm
sound like a
outside. I'm
Yo,
okay,
shout out to
outside.
my
good
people. Shout
girl.
out to my people over there on
Jesus.
TikTok. They said Northside, Minneapolis in the building. We over here in St. Paul, baby. What's good? You can
Yes,
join the show
sir.
too. Hey, you can join the show.
Yes,
We got
yes.
something for you over here. All right. Okay. Now, welcome to Minnesota Cold Talk Podcast, y'all. We got topics. The topic, one of our topics on the bottom of the screen, but Hope, this is your joint. So, whatever topic you want to start off with first, we can get it.
They basically the same question, just worded different.
Yeah, facts.
So,
You gonna have to go in the house, mama. Ain't no way you chop and screw, man. You
so,
like,
so
no,
Riri
hold
hosted
on.
it for me, so I'm gonna let her.
Oh
River,
man,
would you please
come.
read the? Could you please read the
I
topic
will read the
for her?
question. How can you move forward in a relationship if you cannot get past your past traumas?
Mm.
That is the question. That's the big question.
I know what. Let's let her go first. Introduce yourself, please. Let people know who you are and how you feel about this topic. You got
My name's Rakisha Mercado. I'm here in the north side.
hey recreation.
Rakisha, you're so funny. Um, my goodness, that is such a great question. And I think that first that we need to learn how we respond to our traumas, how your body reacts to it. So the biggest problem I think is that people don't know these things and you just keep getting into these habitual patterns of the way you
Mm.
think and the way you react to things that are going on in your relationships. And then, of course, you keep hurting people, the person you love, allegedly, or with, during the process. So it's kind of like what I call compound trauma. So you have something that happens, and then because everybody keeps reacting poorly, we just keep piling on top of it, and keep hurting each other and hurting each other and hurting each other. And that is what makes it really hard, especially in the beginning. I was married for 21 years. Um, Me and my ex-husband have an amazing relationship to this day.
Oh,
But because the foundation in the beginning was laid very faulty, it has affected the fact that we just can't be together today because the damage that has been done. And
Mm.
I got questions too, though.
There you go.
I got questions, but I'll wait. Um, no, I want to ask just this: if you're
You
married to
ain't gonna
somebody,
remember.
if you're married to somebody for 20 something years, right?
yeah,
And it don't work. Do past trauma or any type of trauma has anything to do with that ending?
absolutely, it had everything to do with it.
Sit
I
over
mean,
here.
people always ask me, you know, people always assume that we had like this horrible relationship, that we were arguing all the time and all that kind of stuff. And it was actually polar opposite. By the time we hit 21 years, and because of me being who I am, I educate myself a lot on psychology,
I got a question.
biology. Yes.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm gonna wait till you finish. Go
Um,
ahead.
and so we learned how to really learn how to communicate. You come up with, when you're in a healthy relationship, you come up with, pretty much safety plans. We knew that if somebody came home from work, all you had to do was tell me, I had a bad day, give me about whatever you needed. If you needed 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and that would be the other person's cue. Okay, we're going to leave that person alone. Just doing little things like that. So we had established a really good relationship. But what I learned for me is that, because in the beginning he hurt me so much, 25 affairs in the
And my
first 12.
question is done. I don't have a question anymore. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You answer her
20,
question.
20, 25 affairs in the first 12 years of the marriage. um he constantly body shamed me, and that ultimately is what led to the ending of our marriage, is because I was just so hurt, and I held everything down. And then once I started healing, once you start that healing process, you just can't ignore it, and you can't talk yourself into the BS anymore. Another thing I've learned, because when you're broken, um when you're operating, I call it with the broken sides of you. um I'm really I'm really big on, like, okay, so her name is Stephanie. That's my alter ego. I call her Stephanie. And Stephanie was just a mess. But I used to negotiate with Stephanie all the time. And now I don't negotiate with her. Like, I can't even negotiate with her because Rakisha is in the driver's seat now. And because of that, you kind of can't talk yourself out of the talk yourself into the BS anymore. So towards
Can
the
can I
end,
can,
yeah,
Let her finish.
can I
Let her
ask you a
finish real quick.
question?
Yeah,
Okay,
let her
yes,
finish
okay.
first. Let her finish first. Let her finish. All right, and I'm gonna pass the mic. She was on the
yes.
roll.
So, because of all of that in the past, and I can tell you exactly what happened. It was in July. Um, it'll be 4 years next month that we've been separated. We are legally divorced. Um, I was putting up the doggy gate, and not only that, he was always also like verbally and mentally abusive, and it came off in jokes and sarcasm. So that's another thing we have to start peeping too, is how is the dysfunction showing up in people?
Mm.
Because that was
Yeah.
one thing that I learned, that it wasn't that that he, blatantly said like, you're stupid, you're retarded, but like, if he wanted to make jokes, I was always in the hot seat.
Yeah. And you go ahead. Hope want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm clearly doing the most right now.
Mm-mm-mm.
I definitely have to ask you a question. Stop.
Your
And
phone is acting up.
Hope, why you can't
you can
take your butt in the house?
Let me
because
say
it's
what my
even worse.
question was gonna be then, cause I don't know, she need to get
Yeah,
her phone
you
together.
like. Don't somebody got an iPhone over in that situation? The Android.
We both got iPhone.
How about
I
now
wonder
in
why
my
yo.
house?
I don't know why. Oh no, it's good now. So hurry up, say what you gonna say right now, cause your joint good. Your screen perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, talk fast.
I'm gonna let Riri hush. She plays too much. I'm gonna let Riri ask her question, and then I'm gonna ask mine.
She basically answered it. So I was gonna ask, did your trauma come before you got married, or did it come during your relationship? But you already answered it. I was just letting you know what my question was. But yeah, go ahead, Hope.
But I can definitely elaborate on that really quickly. Absolutely, a lot of trauma. I am the oldest of six kids. My mom is an addict to this day. Grew up in straight poverty. I was born and raised in California. Um, the oldest of six kids. Mom was a drug addict. I also, when it comes to relationships, I've had a man in my emotional space since I was 14 years old. My mom let me have a grown man live with me. He was 18. Um, and so that's kind of like the dysfunction that I came from. So there was absolutely a lot of trauma. And in relation to that, I think that what came out of that relationship was my hypersexuality. I mean, at 14, I was living with a man, and I absolutely used sex as a coping mechanism. And at 14, we were literally screwing like rabbits, like multiple times a day. Of course, we're freaking teenagers.
Mm.
Um, so coming with all that, I had an absent father. So I had all the cliche drama, or trauma that you can, think of. So yes, all of
Okay.
that came into it. And I came out of my childhood very angry. I was I was a cold piece when I was young. I was so
Yeah.
angry. I was abusive. I was abusive. So my 21-year marriage was my second marriage. I was married one time before that. Our total relationship was only 3 years. I was very abusive to him. My um, we're going to call him R. So R is my current ex-husband. R let me know right away I wasn't going to be able to be allowed to hit on him. He's
I know that's right. Man.
he didn't hit me, but he snatched me up and let me know, like, you ain't gonna be hitting on me. So but my mouth sure did run.
Mm,
And
okay.
you know
Okay.
what? We did
Okay.
my bad.
Okay.
I don't want to say we did a podcast before. We might have to run it back again. I don't know if y'all remember. Hope we said being sexually hypersexual active as a child. How does that ruin your relationship? How does it cause
Yep.
trauma?
We
Yeah,
need to run that back.
yeah, because that a lot of people who start early, it's hard for them to find a connection to anything else. That's why in relationships now, the best thing to do is, yeah, have sex, do your thing, have sex, but try not to make it, even if you're the hypersexual one, be calm, like, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna try to, because you want to love more than just the sex. Because once the feeling of the sex is done, it's nothing else for you to connect to if you're already so used to that's connected to being a freak. You know what I mean? Been a little crazy
Okay.
every now and then.
Yeah.
So before I ask my question, public service announcement. Minnesota Code Talk wants you to have safe sex and with one person, not 10,000. Don't just be going out there having sex. We want you to have safe sex. But my question is, and it's gonna sound like
Fact.
it's gonna sound like I'm a bi when I ask this, and some of y'all gonna hate me, and I don't care. Did you have your alter ego when you met him, or you just grew into your alter ego? And I'll ask you why. I'll ask you why I asked that question.
Um, I think I was probably in my early 30s when I gave her a name. So I
So
mean,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, so she was always there, but I think as I started healing and growing, just being able to, compartmentalize things in my brain, that was part of my process, was giving her a name.
Okay,
Yeah.
and your alter ego came when the cheating, like after the cheating or before the cheating?
It really, my alter ego really didn't have anything to do with him. It was just, I just had to name that part of me. Like, she's just the broken part of me, the part of me that doesn't think and just, keeps going into these habitual patterns. Stephanie was angry. She was, um, had a lot of walls and barriers up and didn't allow herself to feel. And that was her coping mechanism for going, being able to overcome what we went through as a kid.
So this is
Um,
my real question.
mhm.
This is where they gonna hate me. Did your alter ego did your alter ego come through later afterwards because you weren't strong enough, because you said he cheated on you 25 times or whatever, because you mentally weren't strong enough, so you had to become another person to be strong enough to say enough is enough?
No. So when I say alter ego, how do I say this? Me and Stephanie are one person. So it's not that I like transform. I mean, gosh, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We are one person. But yeah, for instance, if I'm if a man rejects me, specifically a man, um, yes, Stephanie kind of tries to snatch the driver's seat.
So are you one of those girls, like men do it if they be like, "Oh, can I get your number?" and they be like, nah, you be like, fuck you then, punk. Is that your alter ego?
No,
Oh no,
are
no,
they
no,
more like
no.
are is it more like don't be a menace? Are is it more like don't be a menace? Like when she was drinking, she like I don't drink, and then he gave her a drink. She like I don't like to drink because every now and then I get a little crazy, and then she got a
No.
little.
Like I said, it's not that I transform into somebody different. It's just that that was just what I named just that part of me. And that was
uh,
just my way of being able to heal and compartmentalize different parts of me.
Facts.
I
I
So
So
get
when
get
you
you.
what you're
say
now,
saying.
heal,
I
when
so
you
get
like
what
say
when
you're
I was
heal,
saying.
so like when I was in therapy, one thing, I use the driver's seat
uh-huh.
analogy now because my therapist said what it seems like is that Stephanie has been behind the wheel and that Rakisha needs more practice behind the wheel. Meaning that I let all of my broken parts of me override who I truly am, eh, which is Rakisha. Like that's the core of me. Like that's who God intended me to be.
So is Stephanie healing with Rakisha? Is that the name Rakisha
Rakisha.
Roku or what?
Yeah.
Is Stephanie healing with
That
Rakisha?
golf
But
hole.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely. I mean,
does
we have to heal together, but Stephanie still
does
um
Stephanie go away when Rokisha is fully healed?
You gotta hold her back sometimes. Like no, don't come out.
I well, first off, healing is it's not an arrival. It's a
Mm,
continuum throughout your life, so it's not like I'm going to arrive somewhere and say I'm healed because once
yeah.
I feel like I got one thing taken out, a couple sometimes 1 to 10 skeletons fall out of the closet and it's like, "Oh, okay, so now we got to figure out
Mm.
all of this madness." So it's a journey. It's not like I've arrived anywhere. I could say this that because Rakisha's more in the driver's seat, Stephanie just doesn't have control. So now Rakisha, neuroplasticity has happened in my brain. So the way that I used to react to things when Stephanie was in the driver's seat no longer happens because now Stephanie sits in the back seat
So
and Rakisha's in the driver's seat. So if we use that analogy as far as like what's going on in our biological brains what's happening and we talk about neuroplasticity and that we have the power to rewire and unlearn things that we've learned in our brain. So now that that new wiring has taken place and Rakisha's in charge, Stephanie's not my go-to anymore when it comes to trauma, if
Hey,
that makes sense.
Mm,
I wanna welcome somebody on the
definitely
panel,
makes
y'all.
sense.
So shout out to my brother. I'll explain this later. What's going on, brother? Ken,
What
how
up,
you
though?
feeling? Big smash in the building, man. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate you.
I'm good. What's happening?
Oh well, Hope, go ahead and let me
He
know what your topic
loud.
is for the night.
I don't think nobody's louder than you, Hope.
Oh,
first of all, I
okay.
didn't say
Send the
that.
shout
I
out.
didn't say that. I
Oh,
didn't say that.
correction.
And then we need to grab your water bottle again
My bad.
and sip some because you
I said
sound a
my
little
bad.
thirsty. So yeah, it wasn't me.
I
Don't
said my
attack me.
bad.
Dang, you wanted to say something to Hope so bad.
Hey,
Get
look,
in the
Hope.
DMs like the rest of them. Get
Hope,
in the
let me
DMs
let
like
me
the rest of them.
Hope, let me ask you the question. This topic, why was this topic right here so like on your brain? Because it was on you for since yesterday. You was like, "Yo, I want to talk about this. I
Cause
want to talk about
y'all
this."
want me to be transparent. Y'all want me to be
We
real,
want you
and
to
I'm
be
going.
Girl, be
transparent.
truthful. We was on the
We,
phone
we
having no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you
let me
tell
be real. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna be organic as ever.
Okay.
My past got my present wanting to be making me be single and running away from a good man.
Mm, say it louder.
My past trauma is taken, and and I would say I am off the market. I've been off the market. Y'all just didn't know about it. The people that I care about knew about it. This man right here, um, he doesn't have any kids. He takes care of all six of my children, all six. He works. He is currently everything that I lost myself into. But my past, the people that tore me down, friends, family, exes that done tore me down has me putting a lot of my weight on him. And I just recently broke up with him. I just broke up with him.
You're
I
doing too much.
and no, I'm being real because
Yeah, but you ain't got to tell all of that.
Let her
I'm
tell her
no, I'm
story.
gonna tell
Riri,
my
dang.
truth. I'm gonna
That's
tell
too
my truth.
much.
I got to mute
And
her mic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
when that happened, do you know how many people came to me that
Crazy.
knew about it and was like, "You wrong. You're so wrong." My kids, my mom would don't get in my business at all. My sister Riri,
I told him you was
my
wrong
my
too.
my brother Sosa
Oh,
told me I was wrong, and I had to sit
mm-mm.
back and soak into it. And I was like, "Y'all don't know what y'all talking about," and I'm crying and I'm weeping. And then today, I realized, "Hope you fucking up.
You
You're
know, you always
wrong."
gonna be wrong in my book, even when you right.
But
No,
that's
she
the whole
was wrong all the way around the
I
board.
was
I
wrong.
I
I
had to
was wrong.
cuss her out something
it's
I
not
was
horrible.
about
wrong.
can I talk please. It's
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
about that, it's not about that you were wrong or right. What's happening is that your defense mechanisms are still up, and that
Yeah.
you're converting back once what, like what I said earlier, to the hard wiring in your brain, which is telling you that you're scared. So what what needs to happen for you to be able to progress forward is for you to figure out, why are you scared? And it really doesn't have anything to do with him or anything else. This is you filtering through your system and trying to figure out, okay, why am I feeling fearful? Like, are you having just that doomsday thing going on? Like, are you thinking like, he's going to leave me any minute, he's going to disappoint me in a minute? um because that makes us put our defense mechanisms up and run away.
Ex-
Naturally, what is your attachment style? Are you an avoidant attachment, an anxious attachment? Because if you're an avoidant attachment, means you might be a runner. Avoidant attachments usually like to run.
She's a runner.
So
She's a track star.
yeah, so how are you going to keep yourself grounded when your emotions and your biological experience in your body and your brain are telling you, we got to get the heck out of here because we don't want to get hurt? And then you just start freaking out and you run. So literally what I hear is happening is that you're having a biological experience, and that your brain is just converting back to those old patterns. And um so yeah, so now moving forward, it's really about like filtering through, like, even when you say you broke up with him, what in that moment, start thinking about the past 30 to 90 days before
Oh, that's
that.
the police.
What was going on? What was
so
going
let
on? Were there any extra stressors in your life that started happening? um you might even have to go back to a year. I remember a couple years, so yeah, a couple years ago, I just started acting a fool, like got financially irresponsible. But me and my therapist went back probably about 6 months. And then we started seeing the pattern that kind of led up to me spiraling out of control in that area of my life. So it's kind
Mm.
of, so when you see yourself in these patterns, you have to really sit back and reflect, okay, truly, what has happened? For me, for what happened in that time is that I started talking to a man. Um, he was what I would say rejecting me. Like, he was in and out. He wasn't consistent, and, me, Stephanie, y'all, when I was at work, I was at an event actually. It'd be 2 years in August, and he was working security. And I looked across the parking lot, and I tell you what, Stephanie said, girl, we about to marry this guy. And automatically, what my brain did was convert back into old patterns right away, instantly. He was my husband. And we beamline towards that. I don't know him. He could have been married. I had nothing. But I saw him, and the lust in me said, oh, we got to lock him down. Girl, we're talking 6'2", about 280. Oh, just yummy. A little red bone, long hair. Ooh, it was braided. He had on the little freaking bulletproof vest, a gun strapped to his leg. Boy, when I tell you juices were flowing, I was a mess.
And
Uh
so there. I'm glad she brought that up because he instantly was saying that I was running. But this is a two part where which I have to say. Um, in my mind, when he walked in and asked me to one, nobody's ever asked to date me. We just automatically been dating. So in my mind, I was expecting and waiting for him to mess up out the gate because I've been so
mm,
used to that. I've been so used to that. So it was like he gonna mess up, but then he was like, "Oh, let me." Like I get flowers once a week. I probably could tell you in the 10 years I was married, 6 times I got flowers. We go on dates, we talk, we make I statements. But now I want to turn it over to him so he can explain how my trauma affected him.
hurt people, man.
What's going on,
Mhm.
y'all?
What
Jimmy.
going on, my brother?
I'm
Hi.
good. I'm good. So basically, how it affected me is so I'm an artist, right? And um, there was a situation at one of my shows where an introduction wasn't made to everyone. So, say in a sense, let's say there was like 10 people in my band, right? It looks like I introduced her to all the men, but didn't introduce her to the women. And so in my head, I just got off the stage. I'm not necessarily in the mindset of like introducing because I'm networking myself. So I'm trying to be shaking hands. People are like crowding me saying, "Oh, you did an amazing job. You guys sound amazing. Where can we find you?" All type of questions. And I'll be honest, if I didn't introduce her to it, it wasn't intentional.
Y'all phone
It was
suck.
I was just thank you.
Hold on, I got.
So can you guys hear me?
No, go ahead. You
Can,
good? I
can
turned
y'all
y'all
hear me?
up. Yep.
All right, for sure. So until it created an issue, and so she ended up telling me that she would rather not come to those events with that band specifically. And I heard it and I analyzed it until it happened 2 weeks later, where in my defense, we were extremely busy and didn't have time to do it.
You definitely got to
But
bring that mic a little closer, brother. You sound like you about to
Yeah,
start
because
singing
you
right
sound
now.
low. He's sitting right next to me and I can't
I
hear him.
just said they phone
He's he
suck.
okay,
he, he sound like he about to break off in that Boys to Men song. You remember that "A
Can y'all hear me
Lonely
now?
Heart"? Yeah, now you sound way
Y'all can hear
better.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is
Okay,
that
yeah. All
now?
right.
What sing,
All
man?
right, for
No, go
sure. I
ahead.
got the one. I'm dead. So basically 2 weeks later, I have another event with this band, but my work schedule peaked into when I was supposed to be at the venue for sound check. So I don't have time. So we were together and I didn't have time to run her home. Then I'm already late to sound check and then I have to run to sound check. So we just went from my job to the venue and we were at the venue, right? Now, there was a time where I mentioned having a show that day, but I didn't say who the show was with. And so when I'm going through everything that I need to go through for this show, and I didn't one time tell her who the show was with, and it was the people that she said she was uncomfortable and didn't feel like and didn't have um and wasn't okay with being around and asked me not to be around them.
Hold on. But this for your business, right?
Yeah.
Power on.
That didn't that that didn't trigger something in your mind. Like, hold on.
And but see, you're in a sense, no, it didn't because it's more or less like I've programmed myself to when I'm getting ready to perform, the things that I would that would distract me to think about, I
Mm,
try to eliminate it before I get on stage,
yeah.
because I'm in front of hundreds of people. So me being in front of all these people, I can't be sitting here thinking about like everything that I have going on.
Yeah, to
You
be
know what I'm
tunnel
saying? On
vision.
the outside, I have to focus on. I have to remember a half an hour to an hour worth of music, lyrics, and all type of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And so it's gonna be, so it's very different. I'm not, and now that sounds like an excuse, because
No,
in
no,
a
it
sense
don't,
it
it don't,
is.
it don't. No,
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 it
no,
don't.
no, no. Hold on, hold on. Listen, right? Because we don't gotta be too long winded with it. So eventually, w- you not introducing her to, or not even just removing yourself from that made her upset, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know. I want to know what. So when you, let's don't talk about her trauma right now, right? But how did that affect you? Because you didn't know that she was probably even traumatized and been going through things like that in her past relationships. So when you finally, when you finally caught on to like what's going, what made you ask her like, hey, why are you really bothered about that? Like what it is? How did that come out?
Um, I didn't realize it until after the second situation happened just recently, because
Mm,
we were having a conversation where like um we're having a conversation about the situation, and I kind of like ask questions that will go in depth. It might seem like I'm trying to be an asshole, but
trying
I'm
to
honestly
understand it.
asking questions so I can understand where I am and where I need to be to make this comfortable.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the thing is she's not gonna have the answers sometimes,
But
because she doesn't know.
listen, right? So when y'all finally had that conversation, she told you like, listen, I'm traumatized. It's nothing you really did wrong. You really did nothing wrong, right? So how did that conversation go? And the way did you, when you accepted that like that, did you ask for more communication with it?
Um, how the conversation went
No, no,
was,
no. I mean, I'm just saying after the conversation went right.
yeah,
Did you ask her, hey, when you're feeling like this, to give me more communication for we could, for we could have a better understanding of what's going on, so you don't got to feel no type of way, and allow me to know if you're feeling overwhelmed or you feeling like that, and it's okay for you to step back, and I understand because me and you know what's going on. How did that happen?
no, it didn't happen.
That
Uh,
happened, brother. You know, listen, I'm gonna tell you why it should happen, right? Because when you're
mm,
dealing with somebody who got trauma, they can understand at that moment, like, you know what, I was tripping. You know what I mean? I was
mm,
tripping. And then it can be a pattern that can happen again and again and again, right? Without the right type of communication. Because I've been through a lot of shit, and the first thing I say is, listen, I go through some shit. Sometimes I might sit by myself for a long
yeah,
time. And a lot of motherfuckers be like, yo, he got a female, he cheating, he doing this, woo woo, but that's not the case. I might just need to be, where I'm comfortable at. And that's a bad habit for me. So that's why I say it'd be good for you to let her know, like, hey, conversate with me. Let's talk way more. For I know that that's how you feeling. So when you move away, I won't feel like you acting weird or funny or something, and then we can start a fight because you're feeling something. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, you got to have that conversation, bro. You got to. Look, Rachel, go
Um,
ahead. Go ahead. Let me speak. Go ahead. You got your hand up. Tell him, Mom, am I lying?
um, so there's a couple of things that's happening. Like I spoke about earlier, it seems like we have the doomsday um, going on with Hope. Like she's anticipating that it's going to fall apart before it even falls apart. So what happens biologically is because you have those thoughts, our thoughts create reality. So now your brain is automatically going to be scanning a situation to validate what your thoughts are. And this is across the board. When you have
Mm,
certain thoughts, you know, scripture says, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. I translate that in science, the brain. What happens is that you have this thought, and now your brain is going to try to, like I said, pick anything that validates that you're right. Just like when you're dealing with a man, when you see like when I was going, talking about me and that cat, you know, I saw that, and then my brain tried to scan out everything to say we're in love, we're going to be forever. The wedding's planned. Women, we got the next 20 years planned out. So your brain tries to pick out anything that is true and real. So there's a couple of things here too when it comes to communication that I really want to hone in on. Um, and first, Hope needs to really understand herself. And it is about her understanding why she was triggered in those moments. And there's a healthy balance between when I deal with relationships and when I'm working with people, you also have to figure out, is this a you problem, a me problem, or a we problem? And typically, a lot of things are a you problem. So the more you know about yourself and you can articulate yourself to your partner and show, so that way they know certain ways to be able to navigate what you have going on, but also keeping the balance in their life to make sure that they're also not coddling you or putting themselves at a disadvantage, and it starts interrupting their life. So there kind of has to be this very unique balance in a relationship when we're dealing with people's traumas, our individual trauma, and how we blend that into a relationship. And that was one thing that I really had to learn, even when me and R were still together, is I couldn't, his his issues with infidelity at the end of the day had nothing to do with me. So I let a lot of things affect me, and even moving forward. So I have to constantly remind myself, but that was a him thing. That wasn't a me thing. Him
Mm.
thinking that I was fat was a him thing because he has body dysmorphia. So come to find out, what was happening is that he was projecting his problems, his perception of things onto me. So it's really important when you have these dynamics of you're experiencing these triggers and these traumas. And like I said earlier, Hope, this is when it's really, really important for you to literally, with the fine tooth comb, analyze the situation. Go
Hey,
months,
no, 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 go ahead. I'm sorry.
for you to be able to go back and figure out, okay, why. So initially, the thing happened with you guys of him not introducing you and all that stuff. So that trigger happened, and that made you once again convert back into this old pattern of thinking and stuff like that. So it's really important for you to recognize, okay, I'm being triggered, and this is why is this affecting me so harshly? And is it something that I need to address with him? Meaning that I need him to adjust some things. You can tell him, like, hey, I'm having a bad day, I'm having these emotions, and he can give you your space to process without him having to be deeply immersed in that, because a lot of the things, it's just you talking yourself off the ledge, you reminding yourself and getting your thought process together and stop being into these habitual thoughts and patterns, and really trying to break that pattern in your brain to say this isn't happening because of him or really anything he's done. um, it's happening because something in my nervous system is being triggered by the events that are happening right now.
I
So I'm
realized, I don't mean to cut you off. I realized what the trigger was when it all kind of, the yarn was kind of like unraveling. The trigger is I was so used to my ex saying, "Oh, this is my cousin," or "This is my sister," or "This is my,"
Mm.
it was those things, and comes to find out he was sleeping with them, or
Mhm.
and everybody got a cousin that never come to the barbecues, but just so happen to come up to one on one. So that was
Yeah.
the thing, is like, are you not?
What?
And it has nothing. Now, mind you, I never had an interaction with these women, never. So
Hmm.
it wasn't that. It was. why didn't you take my voice into consideration, my feelings into consideration? I felt like, and I'm saying I statements, I felt like you knew what we were doing because we work at the same place. We
Hmm.
work at the same place. So we right now we share a car. So the thing is, I would have never went in there if they would have said, this is gonna be here or that is gonna this. I would have never put myself in the position, baby, I'll be back to pick you up. And
Hmm.
that was the thing. It was like I stated to you how I felt. I stated to you how I was going to remove myself from the situation. And I felt like you threw me in the pool without water, knowing I can't swim.
Hmm.
That's how
So,
I felt.
so I have a quick question. So you went into an environment that you normally wouldn't have let yourself go into. So you felt like you were misled into this environment?
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
I felt
so
like it
previous,
was, go
sorry,
ahead.
one more quick thing that so previous to that situation, had you talked to him about you not being wanting to be in certain spaces?
Twice. So 2 weeks before that, 2 weeks before that, we had a huge conversation. Mind you, he is an artist. We call him the panty dropper. He sings his butt off. A lot of people until now didn't know he was in a relationship. And we kept that a secret because I am in the industry to where a lot of people didn't know that I was in a relationship. They don't care. They just have an infatuation with me. I'm not saying I'm not celibate. They have me. So we wanted to keep it on the low. Mind you, he's a traveling artist. He is very known,
You're
I'm
and he
cutting
sorry.
in
has
Am
and
I
out.
the
several
only
groups. So
person that can't understand what she's saying?
Yeah, we can't understand you, Hope. You chopped and screwed.
Well, it sounds like she had bikini bottom.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's watching on
you hear me
TikTok.
now?
Shout out to everybody that's watching on Instagram. Yeah, but it's still breaking.
You muted, Solo.
No, I said that was a good question she asked too. I wanted to hear her answer that one. She's still locked up. She's
Yeah.
gone.
So I could just keep talking because this could be a broad topic. So whenever a person is experiencing um, something that's happening, we have to remember that our body is going to trigger us into a biological experience. Another thing that is really important for people to know is that when your body hits a trigger, our prefrontal lobe, this part of our brain, is the last part of our brain that develops. It's not even developed until you're 25. And depending upon the traumas that you've been through, it could take longer for that part of your brain to develop. And we can see in society that some people don't develop that part of the brain at all. That's kind of when you start having more abstract thinking and things aren't as black and white, and you think more with logic and reason and not emotion. When our body experiences a trigger, your cortisone level shoots up, your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys, that's where your cortisone shoots up. And what happens is the blood stops flowing to your prefrontal cortex and starts going to those other organs to help them shoot off these hormones. So that is why you find yourself going straight into these patterns over and over again when you hit triggers, is because your brain, the your prefrontal cortex shuts down for a minute.
Thank you for thank you for saying that too. I appreciate you because a lot of times people be like, yo, I don't want counseling. I don't want to go through things like that. And um and I'm glad that you went through that to be able to explain some of that to some of us here. But Hope, you back now? Can we hear you? Yep. Yep. We got you though, Hope. We're
Is
gonna
it
make sure
bad?
you get no, you good. You back. You back. You're a little chopped up, but you back.
See, yeah,
No, you good. We can hear
we're
you.
at
No.
my mom's house who doesn't get no reception.
Now you
I
know
can.
you should have had your
So
you should have had your
like
butt home.
Mm,
This was your topic.
I know, I know. I know. My mom needed me, so I'm here. We
Yeah.
just
Nah,
lost my
respect.
auntie 2 days ago.
I
So,
Wow.
can't hear her. Do you guys hear her?
Yeah, you
can
got to
you hear
back out
me?
and come back in.
Okay.
All right. Anybody who watching this live right now is more than welcome to jump in. It is a set topic, but we can open up the topic to go further if it has something that pertain to past traumas interfering with relationships and things like
I
that. So
think
y'all definitely welcome.
with my past trauma, it had a lot to do with like with my husband and my kid's father. It was like they it was wolves in sheep clothing. They showed me exactly what I wanted to see to get in the door, and then when the door was slammed and they got a key to the house and they got a key to my heart, and they understood that they got me. It was like they pulled off the sheep mask and put the wolf mask on, and it was bad. It got bad to where I was told like nobody will ever want you with 6 kids. You're nothing. All you good at is talking to people. You're not this, you're not that. So at one point in time I started to believe it. I started
Yeah.
to believe everything they were saying. So then it was like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait. And so everything that right now is coming to the light. Jimmy is getting the butt end of it, but he's getting it 10 times harder because one, um, I admitted he's a lot younger than me, and two, I'm experienced. He's never been married before. I've been married, so a lot of stuff is like, but you didn't. My husband used to do this, and you don't do that, and it's like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets heavy when I hit below the belt. I hit below the belt and take off the knees, the grind, everything. I hit below, and it has nothing to do with him. It's because I'm so fucked up in the head with all this stupid shit that I built up and got, programmed in my mind. He's getting all of it. He's getting all of it.
Is there a
And
way?
I
Hold.
go ahead.
Is that your mic? Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question, right? Because that is like what you said. It's just all you. You know what I mean? Do you stop to think about? Do you
Yeah.
try to fight yourself to not even think that, or be like, man, I'm not gonna bring that to him. I'm just bugging out.
Yeah. It gets to where, so we got this thing that we do when we say, like, when we going off topic
Nah, that ain't gonna
or
work.
when we
That's not
going
gonna
through
work.
something, me and him, we'll
Hope, hope, hope. Yo, you down bad.
be
Your phone was
like,
better than his. Jimmy, your phone down bad, boy. Hope your phone better than his, mama. I ain't gonna hold
I'm
you.
gonna go. I'm going back on my phone. I'll go out. I'll go out.
Yeah, your phone better than his. Jimmy, you're down bad. That's a strike against Jimmy right there. That could be a trigger too. Jimmy knowing good damn well he ain't got 5G. You're down bad. Nah, but what she was saying is dope that she's recognizing it. So I think she's on the right line though. At least she's admitting it. A lot of people don't even admit that they be sitting in the
Yeah.
house bugged the hell out without
Yeah.
just overthinking shit.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that we have to realize what's happening in the brain, and what's happening. What I hear is happening to Hope is that her biological experience is overriding her prefrontal cortex. And when she starts hitting these triggers and feelings this way, she needs a little bit more tools in her toolbox to be able to, when you hit these moments in your life, you have to be able to know what works for you. Do I need to go for a walk? Who do I need to talk to? I'm blessed. My best friend is a therapist. I have, I'm working on, getting a degree in psychology. I read a lot. Like, my library is just full of, I'm actually having to work on not having self-help and psych books in my library to broaden it, because I focus so much on that, because I really want to know about how we operate in relationships and how our body is responding to all of these stimuli that are going on around us. So what I hear happening with Hope is that she's having this biological experience, and it's overriding the logic and reason. And that another thing we do is that we do a lot of things based on emotions. And this is why, like I was saying before, you have to take a pause, because when the prefrontal cortex, when the blood stops flowing there, when when you're triggered, you have to take a break. In that moment, do not react, do not say anything. If you feel your cortisone levels, your heart rate starts going up, you start feeling that old you. I know when Stephanie's about to come out. I know when it's time for me to sit down and say, okay, me and Stephanie need to go have a talk and we need to figure out what's going on with us right now and why why I'm being really triggered right now.
But it was a process. It was a process for you. How long? I'm not saying you got to go all the way back, but how long was that process? Right, because you got to go to the class. I mean, you got to go get that talking. Then you got to start realizing you're doing it. When did you get to the point where you're like, man, wow, I'm doing it now. Let me shut up. Let me sit my ass down. Let me, you know what I mean? When did you get to that
Um,
point?
so when I was 32, um, R actually left me for somebody. So I'm 46 now. So you could do the math and give me some years. I don't know it off the top of my head. But when I was 32, um, R left me for another woman. And I was sitting at, so I would say that is where my journey kind of started. And when I went, first time
When
I
you
went to therapy.
no, no,
So
I'm
that's,
saying when you realize that you're like, damn, it's me. I'm tripping. Because
it's,
in your situation, it wasn't you. You was reacting to things that was happening to you. But when I'm saying,
but like what I'm saying is like it's a linear thing. It's not like it was just over time, slowly
yeah,
recognizing things, slowly coming to terms with things, having the radical acceptance of the reality. Like, oh man, I'm pretty fucked up,
right,
and how do I navigate myself? Because at the end of the day, when we have all of these things that are happening, we tend to we get egocentric. That's another thing too, and we expect our crisis to be everybody's crisis.
yeah,
And
fact,
when you're in a relationship, this is why things get ugly really quick, is because your partner experiences a crisis. They're yelling, screaming, doing whatever they do. Some shut down, some run, whatever they do. I was the yeller and screamer. So then we have this kind of snowball effect happening in the relationship. And that's why I was saying, when it comes to the biological experience, it's really important that when you have a trigger, that you stop at least 10 seconds before you say a word, before you respond. Give your body, take deep breaths, because what you're going to do is you want to trigger the blood flow, but back to your prefrontal cortex, so that way you can think properly
but
and
we
not
hold on. We got to
just,
slow down. We got to get people to admit that they bugged out first. Because people still be in denial. They still blaming other people first. You know what I mean? And
well,
I think
but
I think
that's
it's
what
kind of, but it's kind of different between the women and the men. You know what I mean? That men, we go through that same thing, if not worse than y'all women. Because if like men know the way we look at stuff, the way we perceive things. We could be really messed up in our mind overthinking stuff too. You know what I mean? So don't make y'all sisters
I
ain't got it. Y'all ain't got it all the way down bad. So men got it bad too. Or I got it bad. I fight it all. I fight mine though. I
I
fight it.
would
I know when I'm tripping. I know when I'm overthinking. I'm like, yeah, I'm tripping. I
and
know
I
it.
would say that men have it worse, because throughout my life, since the time I can remember, I was able to yell, jump and scream, cry, pull the woman card, be a damsel in distress, and go through all these things where men right off the bat, don't cry, don't be don't
Emotion.
be weak, don't show
Yeah.
emotion.
Fact.
So now what happens in a man's world is, now we have all of this compound trauma and everything from childhood. the
Fact.
body the body keeps score. And this is why we really have men acting even more erratically out of control, is because the body keeps score. You keep having these biological experiences that you don't know what's going on, because you don't understand yourself. You don't understand why you're feeling this way. And then you keep having actions on top of emotions that keep producing compound trauma, because you keep acting stupid. So that, really is why um I mean, my heart really goes out to men, and I love working with men because of that, because they don't have the space. Women have the space. So any woman could, I could cry right now, and
Somebody gonna ask you what's wrong. Quick.
yeah,
And you
Yeah.
know what? And if it's your girlfriend, they're gonna come over there with some wine. Y'all gonna cry together. Hey, yo, Smash, where you at? Hey, yo, shout out to C Brown
I'm
too.
right here, man.
I'd never seen nobody name pop up like that before. You see how her name popped up with the Facebook thing? That's dope. I never seen that before. But she said hi, y'all. So shout out to you. Thank you for joining. And you could actually come get on the panel if you want tonight too. So
That's CL from my show, man, the host.
oh, see, that was good.
On
Yeah,
the
tell her she
live
can come up.
show.
Tell Ciel to come on up if she want to
All
talk.
right,
You know,
so
Solo.
look, man. And
We
I
can't see you. Your whole thing went out.
no, my camera, I got my camera on for a reason. When I think about people that went through trauma, and I'm speaking on myself too.
Are we good? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, he
I
can hear
gotta
you. You can't hear him?
I can't hear it. All I could hear is you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he bugged out too because his whole camera went back, but he turned it out. Then bounce out, come right back in. That's it. I got you.
Okay.
I got sympathy for whatever happened to you. But eventually we gotta stop using pain as a hall pass for fucked up behavior.
Ooh, talk your talk, man. Talk your talk, man.
Everybody got a reason. Everybody been hurt. Everybody been played. Everybody feel like nothing. But not
Talk your
everybody got a
talk.
solution.
Oh,
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? Stop telling me why you're broken and start telling me what can we do to fix it. Straight up. Your trauma ain't your fault, but your healing is. You know what I'm saying? You are responsible for that, and you can't keep piling on shit from the past and hoping that it'll go away and fuck up everything you got going on now. You know, don't make the next person pay interest for wounds they did not cause.
No facts.
Straight up. That's a tax that I ain't signed up to pay, and I'm not gonna pay it.
No,
you know
that's
what I'm
real
saying?
talk.
Don't keep telling me what this person did to you, that person did to you. I get it. We can get through it together, but eventually it has to be some sort of movement.
Hey, Smash, do you think that people that use stuff like that are still connected to that person in some type of way? They still emotionally
that person still has a hold on them, because if you are still going through relationship trauma 10 years later, that man or that woman still got a hold on you, and you all fucked up about it, and they out enjoying their life and done moved on with their business. You can't keep driving forward while staring in the rearview mirror.
Okay,
you just can't.
Talk.
You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to let the past be the past and build what's in front of you. If we're going to improve, if we're going to be together, then let's figure that out now. And a lot of times what people won't tell you is the shit that they going through at the beginning. They wait until you get in your feelings, you in love, you together, everything is good. Now here comes the signs of trouble and problems and all this stuff. But if you had said that you wasn't healed in the beginning, then that would change the dynamics of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna look at you. I can take an honest person. Hey, listen, I ain't really trying to be in a relationship right now. I just got my heart broke. Blah, 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 this and that and this. Okay, cool. Now we getting somewhere. But don't come in acting like you healed and you not healed, and then we get to the nitty-gritty. We get past the honeymoon phase, and now I'm starting to see all these signs of like old girl in the thin line between love and hate. I'm starting to see the signs of the crazy shit that's going on now because you didn't put this out there in the beginning. If every relationship ended because of something somebody else did to you years ago, the problem just ain't in your past no more. Eventually, you got to face that shit. You know, being hurt, you got walls built up. You know what I'm saying? That explains why the walls are built, but it doesn't explain why you keep shooting everybody that's trying to climb over them. Eventually, I'm finna stop trying. I ain't gonna hold you. If I keep trying to climb this gate and I keep getting electrocuted, either I like being electrocuted or I'm just dumb as hell.
But that's a part of the trauma. But that's a part of the trauma, right? Because people not knowing is one thing, right?
That is
then it been a bad pattern.
So true. But
that's part of the trauma.
Kind of, you have to know who you are. And I think that that's where we're having
If you
discrepancies
don't
that's
know
why
with.
who you are,
people
if
get
you
lost
don't
in
know
that.
who you are, don't try to get in no relationship either. Then, because I
But hold
can't
on
help you
though.
figure out who you
But
are.
look, though, we were just talking about this before you came in here.
Yeah, but I
No,
think that we're
hold
also
on,
learning and
hold
growing
on.
in
Listen,
real time.
nah,
So I
listen. They
think that when
got
it comes
crackheads that's
to,
in love, alcoholics
Yeah,
that's
but
in love.
the
No,
crackheads are in love for a reason. They have something that's pulling them together. They both like crack, so that's what's pulling them together. But
trauma
if
bonding
trauma
relationships.
bond, but if I like you and you're steady pulling away from me, we don't have nothing in common because I'm running towards you and you running away from me.
But
So
let me ask you a question though, right?
yeah, but I
Oh,
think that's
I'm glad,
where
and I'm glad
where
that you
where it
said
comes
that.
into
If
where we don't
ho- ho-
know.
hold on, give me one second, right? What you just said though, Ken, if you're a person that you met this girl, right? Let's say because
mm,
we talking, you met this girl, she dope.
Can you guys hear
I'm
him?
I'm talking about everything y'all been through. It's kind of like similar. You know, you lost somebody, I lost somebody. You know, we've been through shit.
This is shit
But
keep
yeah,
you're
popping.
starting to break down, and you know, and I'm asking like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And you're telling me just a little thing that's wrong with you. Oh well, you know, I did this, or you know, this happened to me, right? If you're a good person, you would be like, yo, I dig her, and I'm gonna help her, so I'm gonna try to stay with this, right? I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to see where you know, if I can help. How long do
that
you try to stay there to help until you realize like, yo, ain't no helping it. This shit is
honestly, you
done.
got about 3 months, bro. Anything longer than that, I just love. I got a glutton for punishment at this point. If we are not making no progress, right? We running into the same brick wall, same problems, same like we grown. We know what's right and what's wrong. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So if we running through the same elementary basic ass bullshit and it's the same thing, and we'll sit here and say, okay, next time we're gonna talk about it. Next time I'll listen, I'll calm down, I'll do this, and they're constantly doing it. It's like at this point, I'm raising another child instead of a grown ass dealing with a grown ass adult. And I got enough kids I don't have time to continue to teach someone that I am literally putting it out there on what I want and how to love me. And you're steady making this about your past and I just don't have time for it. Maybe when I was 20, 21, 22, I had all the time in the world for that shit.
Yeah.
Being damn near 40, you don't have time to keep trying to teach somebody who's hard-headed, who's not trying to listen to you. I don't got time for it. And especially with new relationships, we too new to be constantly bumping heads and worried about introductions and shit like that. At the end of the day, these are the kind of talks that y'all have in the privacy of y'all own home. Y'all figure that out. In private, you can have all the discussions but in public, you're supposed to be united front. Should nobody outside of what you're doing tell you or know the kinks in your relationship, in your armor, and nobody should be able to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? You should already have that shit handled in-house. You know what I'm saying? When you step out here in the world, you're a united front. You're a representation of each other. So when you get out here and you know that you've been hurt, my advice, and this is coming from somebody that's been through all spectrums of love. When you know that you're not healed, hurt people hurt people. So if you know no matter what, if you know that you're not going to be in a space to be healed and to be loved and to appreciate, fall back. Because I had a complex growing up. To get over somebody, I got under somebody. And all that did, going from relationship to relationship to bed to bed to bed, you didn't give yourself a chance to heal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You just got a whole bunch of trauma that's piled up into it. So now you don't even know where the trauma came from because you didn't give yourself time to heal. You jump from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship to the next.
Because it's killing them. It's killing them in the inside, though. Smash.
Yeah, but you don't know where the trauma is now.
Yeah,
you don't know where the trauma is now because shit, you got issues from 5 relationships ago, 5 situationships ago, and you don't know what was worse for you. So
Yeah.
I recommend taking your time to actually be by yourself first.
Yeah. And
Take
then
the time.
if you do take out that time and you realize something, talk to people, man. Let them know, man. Because like Ken said, the first time you meet somebody with that mask on, you don't know how damaged a person really is until they get put in a situation where they can't control it, and they gotta show you that they're a little crazy. Or they
Now,
feel some type
if
of
you
way they
show
go,
me
you
you
know?
crazy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how I can ghost and get away. Because again, at 40 years old, I don't have time for that. Like, what are we doing? This is not, that Jody and Yvette shit was cool in your fucking 20s. Eventually, you got to grow up and realize, okay, listen, I am the problem. The goal ain't to act like the trauma never happened. That's not the goal. The goal is stop letting it control every decision that you're making. Plain and simple. I ain't never telling nobody, stop acting like you ain't hurt, blow it off, ignore it, do all that other shit. No, what I'm telling you is stop using that as an excuse. Going through trauma is not a lifetime membership to be an asshole. It's not a lifetime membership to go cheat, to go lie, to go disrespect on the constant just because you was hurt. Nah, fuck that. Grow the fuck up. Straight up. And if you still going through elementary ass bullshit, like I said earlier, you really just need to be by yourself, and you holding up the line for that good person that's trying to love you, and you too busy worried about what the last motherfucker doing who ain't thinking about you.
Yeah. And I hate that Hope left, man, because this is
You
her topic, and this is her situation that
you
she
done
went
stopped
through.
your whole life worried about what the next motherfucker doing, and that motherfucker out there living their best life. They ain't thinking about you. I was listening to Hope early, and I was just like, yo, I'm not judging or nothing like that, but I was just listening. Like, these conversations are elementary ass conversations. Y'all mad at each other over petty ass shit. So I'm just looking like, okay, eventually y'all gotta sit down and nip this dumb shit in the bud. All right, cool. You don't want me around this person? Cool, let's figure this out. All right, cool. You ain't introduced me. Let's figure this out. This is simple ass shit, bro. This is not like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all down to y'all last dollar and y'all trying to figure out how y'all finna eat. This is elementary kitty ass
But
dumb shit.
the only one that take that serious is the person that's damaged. You know what I mean? Because to them, it's not kitty. It's like, oh shit,
You
it's a
don't get in a
pattern
relationship
that
then,
happened.
bro.
That's
Don't
kind of what
get-
I said earlier. Our crisis is everybody's crisis.
Don't get in a relationship with nobody if you worried about when the shoe gonna drop, and when you feel like a motherfucker finna hurt you, and you on guard, you on alert 24/7. Nah,
Yeah, word.
don't do it. That's just because all you doing is setting yourself up for failure. All you doing is
You
setting
looking
yourself
around.
up.
You waiting for it to happen. That means the relationship ain't gonna never really grow right. Cause you waiting for the bad shit to happen. Like when, like, you know what I mean?
This man, this woman ain't did nothing but try to love you. They make sure they on point. They communicate well. They listen. They understand. But then you know us, and I've been in this situation too. We'll get to thinking like, this motherfucker too good. Where your skeletons at? What you got going on? What's happening? Blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, you got to tell yourself, I deserve this. I deserve this. Like, no bullshit. I deserve this. If a motherfucker came in your life and started making you happy, stop worrying about, okay, when they gonna fuck up, and start telling yourself, I deserve this. This is what I deserve. And I guarantee you, once you start carrying that affirmation, things gonna start changing for you. Because you have it the same way you got it embedded in your head that this motherfucker like everybody else, you can embed that shit in your head. They're nothing like what I'm used to. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got trauma. Everybody been hurt. Like I said, love, everybody that's been in every relationship ain't never got love 100% right. Men, women, none of that shit. We ain't never got love 100% right. But I don't walk around and sit here and say, you know what? Fuck love. Love ain't never did. Every motherfucker that I could been with, and I might have hurt them and they might have hurt me, but it always opened my mind up and said, you know what? That's not the person for you. we shake that shit off, and then we move, we grow, we learn, and we move the fuck on. A lot of times people don't know how to do that. And they keep putting themselves in relationships just to heal from the pain. But you got to understand, other people can't heal you. Healing starts with self above everything.
Mhm.
You can't come in and say, okay, I seen some shit and I agree with it 100%. Will Smith said, I am not responsible for your happiness. I am responsible for an extension of your happiness. But at the end of the day, your happiness comes from you. If I can't make you happy, if you can't make yourself happy, whatever closure that you need from your past, go get that and then come back to me. You know what I'm saying? That's you gotta end that closure over there first, because I'm not gonna pay for some shit that I ain't do.
Well, people look at you for
Amen.
when people look at you as the bad guy with that type of thought frame though, like, oh well, you ain't that one, you know? Like, you think people look at you crazy for that?
I think they would, but also if you have I'm trying not to hurt you and I'm trying not to get hurt. Because what's gonna happen is if I'm constantly doing good and I'm treating you good and we good, and you keep trying to, well, such and such did this and said this and acted like this, eventually I'm going to become such and such. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like I tried to love you. I tried to give you the good shit. I tried to respect you and treat you right. And all you keep doing is seeing me as him, her, whatever. Cool. Do that. I'm gonna be that way now. And I'll walk away from your ass before I ever let you get me out of my character. That's just how I am nowadays. Back in the day, I would go tit for tat with you. I just don't have the time for it.
Look at Kiki in the building. Shout out to Kiki. Kiki, you should be on the panel, man. I've been hitting you up all day. Your ass on the panel.
I just don't have time for the dumb shit, bro. Like at this day and age, what happened to you mattered. What shaped you mattered. It affected you, but that's not your identity. That's not who you are. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's that right there was absolutely like key right there. Identity is that when you have to, we're constantly growing and evolving, and when people think about identity, uh, you know, you like you said, you kind of people have pigeonholed themselves into, you know, like you said, you know, oh, my past, and just thoughts create reality. So you keep creating these thoughts, you keep thinking this person is, you know, the past. So your brain is going to validate that and make that reality in your world, because on a biological level, that's what happens.
Then your brain needs a reprogram.
Well, yeah, neuroplasticity needs to happen. But all of that stuff kind of happens in real time. I do agree you need to give yourself space and alone time, and, you know, to heal. Um, that is absolutely true. One thing I also, when you were talking about like with completion and stuff in relationships and people expecting people to, you know, to heal you, and constantly, like you said, you know, we keep going in a circle, and it's like, okay, we've had this conversation a million times, like, let's move on. Um, First off, the ideology of love and relationships and the way Western society has shaped it is kind of skewed. Um, you know, love, uh, is a social construct. I encourage everybody to do their research on love and where this ideology came from about the whole Cinderella story. Um, and we are supposed to already be complete, and you are supposed to be a complementary to my completion. So there, you can't, you use the word when you meet somebody and they make you happy. You should kind of already be happy. They should just capitalize on what you already got going on, complementing what you got already have going on. We can't expect people, there is no, you can't complete me in a sense. Um, and if we want to talk spiritually, there's that slither where I guess you can say, because we're yin and yang, you know, man and woman, and we come together, and definitely there's um, a loop that's more formed. But we really have to stop expecting people that form of completion. Okay, let me reword that. when we are talking about completion, we want people to heal us. When we're talking about relationships and somebody coming in and completing it, it's more like, okay, uh, uh, now I kind of have everything I have. I have my career. I'm happy. I'm whole. And now we're going to bring in the marriage, the children, blah, blah, blah. And most people think is, oh, you're going to help me heal. You're going to coddle me. And like you were kind of saying, we're going through this little circle over and over again where that's where the dysfunction starts happening. And when you're in the dating world, being able to distinguish the difference between you being a complimentary to somebody or somebody trying to have you complete their circle within them. So that's like really important for, and I like Sarah Jakes Roberts was on a podcast, and she said, so one of the questions I ask when I'm dating is, what is the most traumatic thing that you've ever experienced? And how does the residue from that experience show up in your present day? So if you can get somebody to be able to articulate that, I literally asked men that, and I haven't found many. I don't think one has been out. They're kind of, first off, everybody's thrown back when I ask that question. But the whole point of that is that is going to let you know how much somebody knows themselves.
Ask the question again. Maybe get some people in the comment section. And shout out to Kiki over here. She said your past lessons is for you to recognize your patterns to reveal the trauma. Fact. She said understand what forgiveness means. So shout out to her with that right there. Okay. Yo, can you hear me? You good? I don't know if she can hear me or not. Ree, can you hear me? Ask her, can she hear me, Ree? She can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Well, let me do this then. Okay, I'm about to end the show. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I was
Okay,
about to
cool.
say, have I been talking that whole time?
No. We heard you. I actually asked you, could you repeat what you said and see if we can get somebody in the comments to ask that before we end the show? Because we're about to get ready to end it. We're about to get ready to end the show. But I want you to close out with that question and the last thing you're about to get ready to say.
What is the most traumatic thing you've experienced in your life, and how does the residue from that experience show up in your present day?
I don't want to talk about it because I'm already on. I feel like I'm gonna go through some trauma. They're thinking about it. But that's a question that she gonna put out there, man. Feel free to leave a comment. I want to say thank you guys for joining. TikTok is bogus because they keep kicking us off the air saying that we are violating their rules because we're using a prepaid show. Same thing Facebook be doing. That's why it look like we don't got a lot of views, but we got a shitload of viewers. We almost got 1,700 people right now in this one. This one right here tripping, and the numbers everything ain't adding up. Appeal not accepted. We reviewed your live, and your live contained content that violates guidelines. So they're restricting our viewers. So I want to say thank y'all. I'm gonna figure this out. What's going on TikTok? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. We got more topics, and we got a community event this Thursday at 4 p.m. So we want everybody to show up, man. We want everybody to show up and have a good time. Bring the kids out. It's called the Taste of the North End. It's gonna be dope. We're gonna have games and things over there at our side of the table at the North End Community Center. Make sure y'all stop by and say what's up with us. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Reed, you want to say anything before we close out? I think it's just us in this joint. Oh, Reed. Let me see if I'm bugging. Okay, I ain't bugging. She fell asleep or something. Thank y'all for joining the Minnesota Cold Talk podcast. We appreciate y'all. Please share this live. And this topic was dope, for real. Shout out to Daniela, too. She was in the comments section, too. So thank you, Daniela. Daniela always pull up on this, man. Show some love. Thank you to everybody over on TikTok that stopped doing. Show some love to us. We out.